Okay. So we've got green chopping board, a bowl for the peelings and rubbish, a bowl for trimmings, and containers for the finished product. So the first thing we're going to do is peel the vegetables. Vegetables have been washed. I've got my tools here. I've got a peeler, a steel, a cook's knife and a turning knife. So when we peel the vegetables over a bowl, so we trim off the edges here. This is rubbish, this goes in the rubbish pot. And then we peel over a bowl, not onto the board. And make sure we get all the peeling off. I'll do the carrots as well. It's a peeled veg, and here I've got some sweet potatoes that I peeled earlier, and some sweet that I peeled earlier. So the first cut I'm going to make is julienne, so I'm going to use a swede for this. So I'm going to cut it in half here, and then sharpen my knife. So make sure that your knives are on the tray out of the way. Keep your knife nice and sharp. Got some blue towel here, just to clean my blade. And I'm going to make some very thin slices. Looking where you're cutting, and cut straight down. Even slices. We don't want too much wastage, so the julienne's going to be about this long here. So trim here. This is trimming, goes into your trimming pot. We square off here. And we square off here. So we've got a nice oblong. And then we do two at a time. And we're just going to rock the knife back and forth. All the way to the end. The same with this one here. Keeping the tip of the knife on the board so it's safer, it's easy to control. And that's your julienne cut. And you're going to do 50 grams of this. So it goes into my finished container. And that's 50 grams of julienne. Okay? Next cut, brunoise. So brunoise is a derivative of julienne. So the first thing we're going to do is cut julienne. So same thing as we did before. Thin slices, about 2 millimeters thick. And then we don't need to square off too much here. What we do, we go across this way, and we can cut long julienne if you like this, and then we line them up on the board. Sharpen my knife again, Always keep your knife sharp all the time. Again, just clean the blades, and then we're going to cut across this way. We'll sacrifice the end bits here because they're uneven. Again, with this part here, just cut across. Again, same rocking technique. Just keep the tip of the knife on the board. Look where you're cutting. Keep your fingers behind the blades. Again, we sacrifice those very end bits there because they're not even. Then we have our brunoise, small dice, and you're going to do 50 grams. So add this to this pot here. That's 50 grams of brunoise. Let's cut jardiniere. So I'm going to use sweet potato for jardiniere. Jardiniere is baton. Keep the board nice and clean all the time. So we're going to cut the sweet potato like this, and then we're going to cut down this way, so don't want to waste too much. And then we're going to cut here, about 5 centimeters thick. And then we're going to trim this edge up here because it's uneven. And then we're going to cut this way. So we've got batons. Same with this one here, trim it up here. There's trimmings going here. There's baton. Jardiniere. Here's some I did earlier, so I put these in here. 50 grams of jardiniere. Next cut is macédoine. Macédoine is a derivative of jardiniere, so I'm going to cut more jardiniere. So again, cutting straight down, about 5 centimeters. This time I'm going to cut, I don't need to cut it any smaller, I'm going to cut it this way. Exactly the same technique as for the brunoise. This is trimming here. And cut this way. Again, always looking, making sure that the cuts are even. Just trim this bit up here, that's uneven. And then, same as when we made the brunoise, we turn it around, line them up, sacrifice the end bit here, so they're all even. And then we're going to cut this way. The same with these here. Trim up, and then I can use a slicing action, or I can cut through like this. But using the tip of the knife, it's just the thinnest part of the blade. And this is your macédoine dice. And then here's some I did a bit earlier. So there we go, 50 grams of macédoine, 50 grams of dice. We'll clean the board down again. And then we're going to do next cut paysan. So for paysan we're going to use turnip. We're going to use carrot, we're going to use swede, and we're going to use a sweet potato. So we use all 4 different vegetables, different shapes. So the first one I'll do is the swede. It's not a Swede. So I'm going to do some diamonds with the Swede. So I'm just going to trim this up, make sure it's nice and even. You sharpen the knife again. Again, clean the blade. And we're going to go about 1.5 to 2 millimeters thick here. Not too thin. And then we're going to cut across this way, about 5 centimeters. Sorry, about a centimetre here. Just trim off the edge here, and then we're going to cut this way. So we've got diamond shapes. The sweet potato, I'm going to do some squares. So just take the very end bit off, I don't need to waste too much. And then take this bit off here. And we cut down this way. Always make sure that it's nice and stable when you're cutting. You don't want it wobbling around. And then we're just going to square it off here. Then about a centimetre. Again, square it off here. Then cut this way. And we've got some squares. Squares of sweet potato. Next we're going to do turnip. Turnip, I'm going to do some triangles. So square it off here and go down, down, nice even slices, and then slices together about a centimetre again, so they're all about the same dimensions. And I'm going to cut this way. Then we've got some diamonds. Last cut with the carrot, I'm going to do half moons with the carrot. So I'm just going to take my peeler and I'm just going to make sure that it's nice and round. So I'm looking this way. I'm just going to shape it so it's nice and even. Okay, so it's nice and round here. Then we're going to cut here. I'm going to cut it in half. Have a look at the size here. If it's a bit big, with the peeler, just scrape it down a little bit. Same with this one, have a look. Just shape it down a little bit. And then we're going to cut across this way. So rocking action again. So we've got our half moon of carrot. So we've got carrots, we've got turnip, we've got swede, and we've got sweet potato, all different shapes. All different shapes. I've got my paysan here that I did a bit earlier. Add that to this. And that's 50 grams of paysan. So we've got julienne, brunoise, which is a derivative of julienne. We've got jardinier, baton, We've got macédoine, which is a derivative of jardiniere, and we've got paysanne, different shapes. Chateau potatoes next. So I've got my 2 potatoes here. I'm going to peel them so we can use the trimmings for something else. So again, we're peeling over a bowl, not onto the board. And then we need a little pot of water. This is so the water is to store the potatoes in once we've turned them so they don't oxidise. And potato trimmings are going to go in this pot here. We don't put potato trimmings with the vegetable trimmings. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to cut it to the length we want. So we're looking at about 5 centimetres. So this is trimming. This goes in this pot here. And then let's take this potato here and use this potato as a guide to cut the next one. So they're both even lengths. Okay? Turning knife, nice and sharp. And we're going to turn over the potato trimmings, not onto the board. So we're looking for a barrel shape. So we come out and we come in. We come out and we come in. Out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in. Yeah, it's a nice barrel shape. Okay, you're going to do 2 of these. So again, out, in. You must look where you're cutting here. So very important, because you're going to use this line here to gauge where the next cut comes from. So you've got to look at what you're doing. Okay? And you do it in 1 cut, like that. Don't do it in 3 or 4 cuts, 1 cut. So you've got two chateau potatoes. Okay? So next I'm going to do a diced onion. So obviously the onion's been peeled. This is half of the onion here. So you want a very sharp knife. Again, we clean the blades. See how I've taken the core out of the onion, we don't want that in there. Then flat on the board like this. And then we're going to start with a cut here. So around. And then around. And around. Here, around. And around here. One last one at the bottom. Around. And then we're going to cut down this way. I'm just keeping a little bit of pressure on the onion just so it doesn't fall to bits. We don't want to go all the way through. We're keeping about this distance away so it doesn't fall to bits. Clean the boards before we cut again. We sharpen the knife again. Clean the blades. And then we're going to cut this way. When we get to the end bit here, we cut across. And we cut this way. So we don't waste it. This one we get rid of. Then we've got finely diced onion. And then we add it to the half I did earlier. We've got finely diced onion. The last cut is finely sliced onion. So again, I've got my onion half here. So you can see here, I've took the skin off, but I can see a little bit brown here. And it's a bit leathery, so I'm going to take this layer off. It makes it more difficult to cut, and also you don't want the leathery part to eat as well. It's not very nice. However, that can be used as trimming. That's not a waste. That goes to the trimming pot. So we take the core out of here. So a little V cut. So sharpen the knife. Clean the blades, and then fingers behind, and we're going to use this action here. So your knife is very sharp, and make sure you cut all the way through the onion. So here I'm using the middle part of the knife here. So as I chop through, I make sure I'm going all the way through the onion. Okay, and then when you get to this part here, it gets more difficult. So turn it this way. And start again. And then we have our finely sliced onion. I'm just going to add that to my onion I did earlier. Just one finely diced onion and one finely sliced onion.